Balnir here, longtime gotcha player and Google Sheets enthusiast, and I'm here to offer you a tool to help increase your overall strength in Genshin Impact. Have you ever wondered if losing a stat like attack or crit rate, but gaining crit damage or more attack, improves your character's damage overall? Let's talk about that. This tool won't tell you what sets to use, what main stats to get, or how to get the highest individual hit on a boss. What it will do is help you get the most out of each artifact in your inventory to increase the consistency of your damage so you can push into harder content. Reminder that I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The link will be down below. Come check it out. We have a lot of fun and maybe we can get some games in together. Let's switch over to the sheet and see what we can do to improve your damage. Going into this sheet, on the first page, you'll see two columns. One column is called build number 1, and the other is called build 2. Think of build 1 as the what are you currently using build, and build 2 as the what do you want to change over to build. All you have to do is put in your crit rate, your crit damage, and your attack into the appropriate cell, and these sheet wizards will show you which stat is giving you the highest overall damage. The reason we only look at these three stats is because these stats directly calculate into your damage per hit and can be manipulated on your artifacts. Stats like cryo damage can't be added as a substat, and elemental mastery / energy recharge don't give a specific tangible change to every hit like other stats can, and their effectiveness varies by character. This is more for general increases in overall damage. So we've explained how the sheet works, but now I'm going to show you how the sheet works with some practical examples and take the information and apply it to see how we can improve our characters. So let's take these two pieces of gear. Come off this. We have two different items. We have the Gladiator's Triumphus, which is giving us a 22.8% attack increase. It doesn't give any crit rate. It doesn't give any crit damage. It just gives some very negligible stats. And we're going to compare this with the Instructor's Cap, which is giving us 14.9% crit rate. Also, very negligible stats, no crit damage, no attack percent. Now, I understand that this is a 4-star artifact versus a 5-star artifact. Really, all we're comparing are very, very basic stats. You can apply this to any artifacts that you have across any rarity, doesn't really matter. So currently, we have the Gladiator's Triumphus. The set doesn't matter, all we're doing is comparing stats. It gives us 22.8% attack, and that's it. Now with this item currently equipped, we have 714 attack with 22.9% crit rate and 50% crit damage. Going back to our sheet, I believe it said 714. Oh, no. 714 with 22.9 and 50% crit damage. That's giving us an average damage value of 795. That is before any skill percent modifiers are taken into account, and any damage percent bonuses or element percent bonuses or anything like that is being applied. So this is the base raw value that we're going to get before we get any other modifiers that we're not accounting for in this sheet. All right. Now, if we switch back over and we equip this piece instead, what we're essentially trying to find out is, are we getting a higher average damage value out of this attack percent, or are we getting better value out of the crit rate just comparing these two items? So we'll go ahead and switch this. This is going to give us 597 on our attack, but 37.8% crit rate. So 597 and 38. Ooh. We have 597, 38.8. 597, 37.8. Numbers are hard. 597 and 37. Okay, so just comparing these two, we have the attack percent headpiece on the left, and we have the crit rate percent headpiece on the right. based just on these two artifact pieces, we actually have a 10% damage reduction going for the crit rate headpiece over the loss of the attack from the attack headpiece on the left. Essentially what this is telling us is if we're losing this much attack in this specific example, we want to be adding in some crit rate, probably some crit damage, or maybe a little bit more attack in on the substat for that headpiece. Doing so would give us a higher average damage value. So this transitions us into the second page. So let's copy the stronger build. Oh, numbers are hard. Let's copy the second build. So on the second build, we have 795 on the average damage. So if we go to the second sheet, what this sheet does is it tells us, based on the information from build 2 in the previous sheet, that's this build right here, what kind of increase in damage we'll get for increasing a specific stat. So for example, if we increase, let's go with a more reasonable number. If we increase our attack on the second build, which was our attack percent, sorry, it's on build number 2, which is what we made the attack percent build. If we do a 100 point attack increase, we get the greatest yield increase in damage compared to doing a, say, 15% crit rate increase or a 15% crit damage increase. However, if we change this value to, say, 30, oh, that's actually really close. So we're currently at a crit rate of 22.9 with a crit damage of 50. So an increase in 100 attack is actually a lot. If you're already at 1500 attack, but for some reason you still only have 22 or 25% crit rate, however, and 50 crit damage, all of a sudden that 100 point increase in attack isn't going to give you as much because you already have so much of it. And all of a sudden now you see that increase in crit rate is giving you a lot more value because it's weighing so much more on that already very large attack. Now, if we say are able to switch over instead to like a crit damage piece, and we're able to add suddenly like 40 crit damage, adding all that crit damage doesn't increase our damage overall because our crit rate is so low we're not utilizing it properly. So the higher your attack gets, the more valuable your crit rate and your crit damage get. Your crit rate being a priority. The higher your crit rate gets, the more valuable your crit damage gets. That's kind of like the progressive order you want to go in. You want to bring up your attack first, then you want to bring up your crit rate, and then you want to bring up your crit damage. And this sheet kind of reinforces that ideal while also giving you an opportunity to see it. The last page is called Substat Goal. This page you can use to help calculate the percent in substats you need to reach a certain threshold of a stat that you want. The base attack cell already includes the damage from your weapon, so just toss your feather and timepiece main stats in there, and the math wizards will calculate the substat percent that you need in order to reach the target that you want to get. This attack percent substat that you need can be found in your weapon's bonus stat or from any piece in your gear. If you're wearing multiple attack percent artifacts for some reason, just subtract the main stat from the other piece that you're wearing from the percent that you need to see how much left you need to get in your substats. It's simple, I promise. As for your HP and defense, you can use any number of percent main stat pieces to reach your percent needed threshold before you start delving into substats. So you have your Diluc, or your Kaching, or your Child, or whoever, and you want them to have like big flexy attack, right? You want to walk in the room, people turn around, they go, oh god, not this again, and then they get their butt whooped. So say you want 2000 attack, just a flat whole number, whatever, that's what we're going to get, okay? The first thing you'll need to do is you'll have your set equipped. You go to your character, my Kaching, for instance. My Kaching without any artifacts. We're going to take them all off. Ignore my Kaching's artifacts. They're garbo. We need to do better on her. Okay, my Kaching with just a weapon, 734 attack. That's important because we need to make sure we have the weapon accounted for. So our base attack is our character's base attack plus the flat weapon damage, or the flat damage from the weapon. After that, once you put that number in there, you'll put the value from your feather. The max 5-star value and main stat you get from your feather is 311. If you don't have a plus 20 feather that's 5-star, that's fine. Put whatever value you have in your feather right here. Your timepiece. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be your timepiece. If you're running attack percent in your timepiece, your cup, or your headpiece, I'm not really even sure what they call these, circlets. Sure. If you're running attack percent in one of these 3 places, put it in. All right. The max 5s. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. The max 5-star plus 20 attack percent stat you can get is 46.6%. So we'll take all of these values into account. I have a Kaching. I'm only running 1 attack percent stat in the main stat for my artifacts. I have 734 base attack. I'm running a plus 20 feather that gives me 311 flat attack. I'm running one of my 3% artifacts as an attack percent, and it's maxed out. And I want to get 2000 attack. I'm going to need to have almost 84% attack percent in the substats of all of my artifacts and my weapon if you have a weapon that gives attack percent as well. So that means if your flower has 20% attack and your feather has 20% attack and your weapon has 30% attack, that's 70% right there. You've got 14% on the substats of 2 other items, and boom, you hit your target attack of 2000. This right here isn't a sheet that increases your damage by telling you what works better than others. This is just a sheet that helps you get an idea for what kind of substats you need to reach a specific value. If you want your attack super high, what exactly do you need to get there? Your base HP, for example. Your base HP, your weapon doesn't affect the flat amount, so we're not worried about that. It's just your character's base HP and your feather. Those are relevant parts. So you would go to, for example, let's go look at Barbara, my level 50 Barbara. Artifacts, we'll take a bunch of stuff off of her. Her artifacts aren't that good. Let's see. I should have had that done before. Okay. So all of Barbara's artifacts are off. Her weapon does give some HP percent, so we are going to switch this to something that doesn't switch. Okay. So my Barbara has 5,501 max HP. Let's go ahead and put that in here. So we have 5,501. If I was wearing a 5-star plus 20 feather, it gives 4780 flat HP. If I wanted this level 50 Barbara to reach 40,000 HP, and you can do this with any character. Obviously, your 5-star characters or your level 70 or level 80 characters are going to have a higher base HP than this. If I wanted to, let's go something more attainable. 30,000 HP. I would need almost 360,000. Not thousand. Slow down. I would need at least 360% HP across any number of main stat pieces and any number of substats. We can also include our weapon there. So with our weapon, what did we have here? We had this one. So that's 18.2% right there. So we can cut 18.2% out. We'll switch that. We know that as far as HP goes, a 5-star plus 20 HP percent item also caps at 46.6%. If we are wearing HP percent on just 2 of them and they're maxed out, that's 93.2% plus our 18 point something, I don't remember what it was, is 111%. So we still need, 240, 247, 248% across our substats. Now we know that our level 50 Barbara is not going to be hitting 30,000 HP. We would definitely want a higher base HP to start off on to go get something this large. But this gives you an idea of if you want your Barbara to have a certain, to cross a certain HP threshold, or you want your Zhongli to, hit that 30, 40. I've even seen one person with a 50,000 HP Zhongli what does it take to get there? This sheet can help you kind of start calculating those numbers across your main stats and your substats. Whatever this HP percent needed is, just subtract all your mains and your subs and figure out what you need to push more to get it to whatever that threshold. Same thing for your base defense, or for any unit that you want to work on defense. If you're working on your Noelle and you want this Noelle to have, 2,000 defense. I actually don't know what the base defense for Noelle is at higher tier, so we'll use the 692 that I have fill up in the cell. You have 692 base defense. Your weapon won't account for that. There is no defense flat item, so you don't have to worry about any of that. It's just whatever your character has without any of your defense, or without any artifacts equipped, is your base defense. So you'll put that in the cell. You'll put your target, and it says here that we would need 130% defense across our main stats and our substats. The main stat for a defense percent item on a 5-star plus 20 artifact is actually 58.3%. So it's about 13% higher than your HP and your attack percent items. I don't really understand why they did that. So that's 58% out of your 130 is almost 70% across your main stats and your substats. If you want to do more than one defense percent item, even 70% across all of your subs isn't terrible. That's 12%, 13%, I think. Here, we have a calculator in front of us. 130 minus 58 is 72 divided by 4 other pieces is 18%. If you can hit 18% across multiple pieces on average, or a second defense percent item, with a second defense percent item, you can easily hit this number. Otherwise, you're still looking at a relatively high value, but that is how you would also calculate to reach that threshold if that's what you're trying to get to. And you can mix and match these for different things. If you have a Zhongli that you want to hit 30,000 on, but you also want to have like 1,400 attack. Again, you would put information in there. We're going to assume you probably won't have a main stat attack percent piece for that. You'd take whatever your base attack is, including your weapon. You put that in there. You put your feather. If you're running any percent main stats, and this would tell you what you would need across your substats for attack percent to reach that, and also your HP percent subs or main stats if you're running HP percent to reach your threshold there. So this sheet right here is flexible, but it is a little bit more specific, but it's available to you if this is a feature that you're looking for. The link to this sheet will be in the description. All you'll need to do is open it up, make a copy, and save that copy onto your Google Drive so you can modify it as you need to. I really hope you got some value out of this and you can use this sheet effectively. If you like the video, please consider subscribing and comment below to let me know if this video helped you break into new content that you weren't able to do before. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitch, and hopefully we can chat and do domains and jump. Do domains and jump. Don't forget to stay hydrated, stay safe. Thanks for watching.